Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mr. News Art Class. It's wonderful to see your smiling faces today. In today's video, we're going to be looking at artwork by Kim MacConnel. We're going to be talking all about bright colors and fancy patterns. In the last video, we talked about how to draw shapes using stencils and freehand. In today's video, we're going to continue talking about shapes and lines and how we can put them together to make patterns. This drawing was made in the style of Kim MacConnel, who's famous for his use of lines, bold colors, and patterns. In order to make something like this, we first need to understand how to draw lines, shapes, and patterns. So grab a marker and practice with me. In the last video, we practiced drawing shapes like squares, triangles, circles, and rectangles. Go ahead and practice a few of those real small just to warm your hand up. And then try making a straight line. To make a straight line, we simply put our marker down and move it across the page. To make a wavy line, we wiggle our hand while we move it across the page. To make a zigzag, we have to go slower. We have to go down and stop, up and stop, down and stop, up and stop, down and stop, up and stop, and every corner you need to stop. So we can make different kinds of lines like this, and then we can put these lines and shapes together to make patterns. So a pattern is simply when you repeat something. So let's say I want to repeat a straight line and a wavy line. Well, what should I do next? I should go back to the beginning and make a straight line, and then a wavy line. And then what should I do next? A straight line, and then a wavy line, and then a straight line, and then a wavy line. That's one way to make a pattern. Another way to make a pattern would be to pick one shape, like a square, and then make that same shape around itself or inside of itself. Next, let's flip our papers over. Pick a color. And we'll start by just making a few lines that go all the way from top to bottom. You don't have to make the same lines I'm making. You can make any lines you want. About 3 or 4 lines should do the trick. Should we do 600 lines? Nah. But we should put the cap back on our marker. Next, we're going to pick 2 colors and make a pattern in one of these stripes. For my first pattern here, I'm just going to make some stripes inside of my stripe. And then I'm going to use my 2 colors to color alternating stripes, one and the other, one and the other. So this first stripe I'll do blue. Take my time, be nice and neat, nice and careful. Don't want to go outside the lines. And when I'm done coloring this one, I can go ahead and color all my blue stripes while I've got this marker. And then I'll come back to color my green stripes. And as I finish up this last blue stripe, you notice that I left an empty stripe in between each of these blues. And I'll go back now, I'll put the cap on my marker, and then I'll get my other marker. And I'll go ahead and start coloring these. So now my stripes will be blue, and then teal, and blue, and then teal, and blue, and then teal. And as I finish up the last of my teal stripes, you see that nice, beautiful, bold pattern. Nice contrast there between a bright blue and a dark teal. Make sure I get my marker cap put on, and now I need to take a look at the next stripe. My first one I did a stripy pattern, and then the second area I want to do a different pattern. So I think I'll use black and pink. Notice I got two contrasting colors again, one bright and one dark. And what I'm going to do here is just follow along that wavy line. I'm being very careful to make sure I go exactly the same as that first wavy line. And just keep them all going the same wavy direction. I could just make a bunch of random wiggles, but this looks real nice and clean and neat. And then again, I'll color them in like a pattern. Oh, my marker's dried out. Let me get a different one. So here you can see I've colored alternating stripes pink, and then I'm going to use the black to get the in-between spaces. And again, because I have one bright color and one dark color, I get some good contrast, and it's going to make these stripes really stand out. I decided instead of actually coloring these stripes in, I decided to just do stripes inside of my stripes inside of my stripes. It's still nice and dark with that black, though. So it still contrasts real good against that bright pink. And there you have it. That is a second pattern finished. And this is the way we're going to go throughout the whole page. Just figure out what you want your patterns to look like. I'm going to jump ahead and show you what mine looks like all finished. I'm going to use some more bright colors, some more dark colors, and you make whatever patterns you like. And as I finish up coloring in this last pattern, I just want to ask a couple of questions about your pictures. These are the questions you should think about while you're working on your picture. Question number 1. Do your patterns repeat the same lines and shapes over and over again? If they do, then great, you've made great patterns. If they don't repeat, then they're not patterns. Number 2. Do your colors contrast each other? Do they stand out? Did you use one bright color and one dark color in each pattern? Or did your colors look too similar to where they kind of camouflage and hide each other? Which is it? And the last question, question number 3. Did you make sure to put your marker caps on very tightly? And did you get the right cap on each marker, the right color cap on each marker? Check and see. Make sure you've got those put away properly.